Hello, welcome back to Creative CEO. This is the podcast for anybody wanting to grow their creative business. In this episode, I want to talk to you about a word that I've decided is going to be my buzzword for 2025, which is consistency. I've been thinking about this a lot because I wasn't very consistent in the last quarter of 2024, just in terms of posting. And I think it slowed down my growth in general towards the end of the year. I've been doing a little bit of research into the science behind why being consistent is really beneficial. And I wanted to bring you what I've discovered. And I wanted to talk to you about how being consistent can help you grow your business as a whole. So whether you're just starting out or whether you're like me and you're a few years in, being consistent can really help you achieve your goals, and it can help you connect better with your audience, and it can help build trust and reliability. So I want to explore the reasons as to why being consistent is so beneficial. And like I said, I've done a little bit of research into the science behind it. What I really want to make sure that I'm doing with this podcast is backing up what I'm saying, because a lot of the time, everything I'm saying is just coming from my own experience. And I don't want that to be the only advice that you're receiving, because I've got my own experience and I will share my ups and downs, but also there is often science behind lots of things in business. And even though I'm not very good at doing the research and I don't enjoy doing the research, I think it's important to back up what I'm saying with a bit of research. One of the things that I found is something called the exposure effect. So the more people that are familiar with your work, the more likely you are to be trusted. Trust is like the foundation of any business, and consistency is how you will earn that. And I found that, like I mentioned last week with my direct debit scheme, I found that exposing myself on the social media, that sounds so wrong. You know what I mean? Exposing my art on social media and making sure that people trust me through being visible on social media I think that's what's helped me get trust for people to give me a direct debit and for people to pay all of their money for their commissions up front. And that's how I've earned it. When you show up regularly, whether that's posting just your art, you don't always have to show your face. You can do things with your hands, but I think showing your face is even better for building that trust. When you're just constantly posting and showing up online, you are proving that you're reliable and proving that you're serious about your business. Consistently posting your art will help build reliability around you as a person and around your whole process, your whole business. And consistent doesn't mean every day. Consistent can change depending on what suits you. If you can't commit to posting every single day, then choose a number that suits you. I am a mum, and sometimes I do struggle posting every single day. So I've chosen to give myself Fridays off. When I'm scheduling my content, I actually give myself Fridays off, just because I sometimes get to the end of the week and I've just run out of ideas and run out of resources. So I've just decided to not post every single day. I post 6 days a week. I don't want it to sound like consistent means that you have to post every single day, but I think being consistent in posting will help build trust, and it will help build reliability, and it will just help boost your business in other ways. By being consistent, it also means that your audience looks forward to seeing your posts, and it can build anticipation by knowing that you're going to be posting something. So just choose what consistent means for you in terms of posting, and hold yourself accountable for it. Put it on your calendar and make sure that you are being accountable for actually posting. Consistency is also the way to enhance your skills over time. I do find it funny when people just say, oh, you've got such a talent. And even though that is a lovely compliment, being a great artist isn't necessarily something that you're born with. I know that I was pretty good at art when I was at school, but that's because I enjoyed art. And that's because when I wasn't at school, I was at home making art. I remember being a really young child, and all I would do I would just draw horses. And it's like people get better at art because if they consistently practice and consistently try new things, that's how you improve. It's not always just a natural born talent. If you consistently practice your craft, you will get better over time. That's just naturally how it happens. I used to teach in a school, and it was the students that were engaged in the lessons and did the art homework and carried on doing the art in school and out of school, those are the ones that progressed and got better. It wasn't just like one child was just naturally good at everything. So give yourself a chance to consistently refine your craft and consistently experiment, and that's how you will get better. There's definitely some science around repetition. It's drummed into you in school, isn't it? And it's drummed into you in whatever you do. Is if you consistently repeat something, you are naturally going to get better at it. When you start driving lessons, there's not many people that would just get straight into a car and know exactly how to drive. You have to go and repeat the same maneuvers, repeat the same muscle memory steps in your head when you're changing the gear. And that's how you get better at driving. That's how, when you have passed your test and you're a couple of years down the line and you realize that even if you've been driving an automatic, you can get back into a manual car and you can suddenly drive it because you've got the muscle memory, because you were repeating it during the learning process. Like, repetition in general is the way to improve your skills. The best way to enhance your skills is to be consistent in your practice. Another benefit to being consistent is establishing yourself, establishing your brand, being consistent in your colors, being consistent in your messaging, being consistent in your packaging. Everything that makes your brand as one, make sure that it is completely consistent. If you've got a team of people, you want to make sure that they understand the messaging behind your business, so that if you've got more than one person who has access to your Instagram account, your messaging and the way that you reply to people is relatively consistent across whoever is replying back to those people, because people will mistrust you if you have two people answering direct messages, but they have very different views on what the business is about, or you have more than one person replying to emails. In a big team, you are likely to be speaking to more than one person. But if your team doesn't understand the rest of your messaging, and it's going to derail the trust that somebody has with your business. Being consistent to establish your brand can work for both being a solo entrepreneur like me, or it can work for being in a small team or a big team. You've got to make sure that everything is consistent. And if you want to do a rebrand, for example, like, that's absolutely fine. I'm not doing a whole rebrand, but I am going to be changing my packaging to make it more luxurious. I want the whole feeling of opening my packaging to be an experience, not just the artwork being the experience. Once I've come up with the design, I will make sure that whole feeling is consistent, whether you're getting a commission from the UK where I will send stuff flat, or a commission across the seas where I will send stuff rolled. I want the consistency to be across the experience, that people that have ordered from me and they're in the USA compared to the UK, I want them to get the same experience, because that's how I will build a recognizable brand, and a brand that people will trust if it's consistent across the board. So having a clear and a consistent brand will create a lasting impression on people. And you want people to, if they're chatting about you, you want people to be like, oh yes, I love Georgie Turner Artist because of this, or that whole experience was amazing. You want somebody else who is a client to read that review and go, yes, oh my gosh, I had the same experience. This is amazing. That's what people will remember you for. That's just an example of me. Think about how you can create a consistent brand image across all of the different areas of your business. How can you create a consistent experience for everybody that is a customer? Consistency will create long-term growth. It's very rare that people will have an overnight success, even though it might not seem it. When you see somebody online, you see their social media and they've got 1 million followers and 200 posts, you think, how the hell have you done that? That's very rare, and that's just somebody, a bit of luck or whatever with the algorithm. It's very rare that people have complete overnight success. Being consistent, like small, consistent efforts over time, that's what will build complete success for you. Every post, every piece of art, every interaction with somebody will build that momentum. And I've noticed that myself. I've not had overnight success. I've had bouts of, I would call Instagram success, where I've had a reel go viral and it's brought in loads of new followers and then it's ebbed away. Like, the social media success can have like spurts of what feels like overnight success, but really in the long run, if you have a reel go viral, you will probably bring in thousands of people who are not your ideal customer. So it's having one reel go viral might bring you in some more followers, but it won't completely make your business a success overnight, because you need to nurture those followers and turn them into customers, which takes a lot longer than just having a reel go viral. Because when you attract in people into your Instagram or Facebook, that's brilliant, but then you need to actually nurture them and turn them into customers, which is what will take a bit of time and will take consistent posting and consistent nurturing to actually turn them into customers, especially if you've got high ticket items like I do. There's something called the compound effect. Small, consistent actions lead to bigger growth. So it's just all about the tiny little actions that you do, which is why I break my big dreams, my big success dreams, down into really small, tiny goals for each quarter, and then the tasks that you can do to make those goals happen. It's just all about breaking everything down into small little steps and being consistent in your daily routine as to how you can help achieve those steps. So if you want to grow your social media following, you need to be posting consistently. Like I said at the beginning, consistency doesn't necessarily mean every day, but if you want to grow quite rapidly, then posting every day is better for you than posting 3 times a week. So consistency works through habit forming. Consistent actions will create routines that just become automatic to you, and that will help reduce your mental load, because if something becomes a routine, it's a bit like muscle memory with the car. You just don't think about it anymore. It just becomes part of your daily life. So think about this year and think about how you can be more consistent in your business. What can you do every single day to help your particular business grow? It might not necessarily be about being online. It might be more in-person events. Can you do one in-person event a month and hold yourself accountable for being consistent in making sure you go to those events? My aim is to be a lot more consistent with this podcast, because I want this podcast to grow. And for me, that is making sure that I do one a week. And sometimes those podcast episodes will be a bit longer, sometimes they'll be a bit shorter. But as long as there's value in each episode, that's my consistency aim. I also need to do my YouTube, and I'm trying to make sure I film all my podcast episodes so that they go up on YouTube. So think about what your consistency goals are for 2025. So think about what consistency means for you and how you can build those little habits to make your business a complete success. Don't feel overwhelmed by this. Always break down your goals into smaller actionable steps, and those the small little steps will have the compound effect to realize your bigger goals. That's it for this episode. I hope you found it useful. Please share this with a friend who would benefit from listening to a podcast all about running a creative business. Don't forget to rate and review on whatever app you're listening to this on, or on YouTube if you're watching this. Thank you very much. I will speak to you next week. Bye.